Good morning, everybody. Welcome aboard to the Morning Note. My name is Carlos Garcia, founder and CEO of Gar Capital. It is Thursday, August 15th, 2024. Glad to be with you this morning. Every morning, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time here on our YouTube channel. If you haven't already, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Really do appreciate it. We also did a podcast yesterday, right after the bell. So make sure to check that out on Spotify under G.A.R or GAR Capital Podcast. Appreciate that. Let's go ahead and get to it. Dow futures are up 385 points, nearly 1%. NASDAQ is up nearly 1.16%, 220 points. I talked about the pivot points yesterday. We talked a little bit about kind of the setup overnight. Nice move higher for futures traders on NASDAQ. 19,334 currently, a little off the highs. 55.27 for S&P futures. That's up nearly 1%. Small caps coming back. We're getting close to the highs that we had on yesterday's session before the pullback, kind of the CPI highs, let's call it. Russell is up 2.22%. Team has IWM calls. 211 now. Looking pretty good, in the money. Crude oil, 77.58, up nearly 1%. Gasoline futures are up 0.70%. Gold just went red, 24.74. Look at the dollar. The dollar is up 0.56%, 103.14. The VIX keeps getting destroyed. We are now at 15.58, down 3.77%. 10-year Treasury yields bouncing back, 3.926%. Let's see what else I have. And that's really due to retail sales. Let's go over the number. I'm going to go to the live market blog here on Discord. If you guys are interested in joining, make sure to go to our website, scrolling below. Initial jobless claims came in at 227,000, below expectations of 236. Good news is still good news. Retail sales, 1%, a positive, or up 1% month over month, above the expectations of 0.4%. So more than double the expectations. Excellent. That's kind of what we want. We want to see good news and more good news as we're getting into the easing pattern or easing system or time for the Federal Reserve. Let's see here. Walmart raises annual profit forecast. I thought Walmart would pull back due to Amazon missing their revenue, possible the consumer slowdown. Well, we're not seeing that. Retail sales just kind of took that away. Walmart is soaring after pre-market. Walmart has hiked its annual profit forecast driven by strong demand for everyday essentials and higher margin ad sales. Shares jumped in response. So great work from Walmart. Again, I was wrong on that. They see sales growth of 3.75% to 4.75% in fiscal year 2025, up from 3% to 4% range. So great news. Again, you could see markets are moving higher. We're now up 400 points on the Dow. Now the question remains, what do we do now? Okay, so if you guys listened to the podcast yesterday, 19,221 on NASDAQ futures. Obviously, I've been talking about this pretty much every day since Monday. All we're looking for is to get back to August 1st. Slowly but surely get there. So I want to take a look at daily and see where we are at in terms of RSI. Are we oversold, overbought? Still not yet. Okay, so let's go and stretch out this time period a little bit. We're on the daily 19,600 I just talked about. That's the 50-day. Once we get there, we should be a little more elevated in terms of RSI. Mind you, that's about 250 points from where we are now. Once we start getting to that level around the 50-day, maybe we get a little bit of choppiness there. Or we continue higher, maybe the good vibes continue as the buy the dip crowd keeps coming in, 20,000. That's your money number, 20,000. But for today, if we get a short squeeze, which we just saw on Tuesday on a strong PPI, the market is looking for good news and it wants good news. So again, 19,600, use 221 or 200 as kind of your level of support. Let's take a look at S&P futures. Have that purple line of 54.43. It's now bouncing. You're now above the 50-day. Next target is 5,600. That's about 70 points from where we are. NASDAQ will probably move a little more because it is pushing a little higher. Let's go to the Russell. We have IWM calls anyways, so that's going to hit, and it's right near the 20-day around 2164. That's where I expected to go next. Beautiful bounce off this upward wedge. Small cap summer is not dead. Let's take a look at Palantir. This has been not an easy hold. Now up 47 cents pre-market. Let's see on the daily, not at overbought conditions quite yet. We filled that weekly gap already. See this gap here? That's been filled yesterday. I think it did. Should have filled yesterday. That's when my alert hit. So 32, that's the strike that we have. We're now at 31.50. So we should be able to catch that this morning. Good stuff all around. And let me remove this RSI here. Studies. For those who trade QQQ, I get those questions a lot. QQQ, pretty simple. 475 is your next target. So that's your support here. That's your resistance here. We'll just draw a line here. Let's, what do we do here? We'll do $1. Here we go. Kind of use this level here, 474 or 475. Yeah, we'll just use this. And we'll go ahead and edit properties. We'll use a purple line. We'll increase the width to around 4. We'll show the price on the right. And there you go. So that's going to be our target on QQQ. Obviously, since we're moving higher this morning, premiums might be a little juiced, but as long as you have your levels that you're watching, that's kind of be important. QQQ 475.80, next resistance. Take a look at SPY. We're getting close to a very, very key level of resistance, which is 551. That's kind of near the zone of August 1st. The highs there being about 555. So I got an alert at 551 on SPY. We'll see if we get there and then see if we can catch another $4. That will be the next target on the S&P 500 index fund or ETF, excuse me. Let's see here. Questions. Come on, Palantir. Thank you for the Amazon play. I should be up 350%. Well done. Yeah, Amazon now at 175. Do we still have that gap to fill? Yes, we do. Trading at 175 now. 175.40 is your 20-day. So if we break above that, we still got a gap to fill at 181. Let's go and place an alert together at 175.57. If we can settle above there or clear there, then we're going to take a look at filling this gap at 180. We'll play the 180 calls. How's that? So for anybody who missed Amazon, maybe we can get another shot at it. CMG. Yeah, never broke 47. There is a gap to fill as well at 55. It is now trading at 52.19. So right around here. Still got a little more. I would say wait for 53.67. That's your 200-day. And then you have the gap fill here at 55. And Palantir, yes, it's on the move. That's good news. Palantir now at 31.48 currently. NVIDIA has been a name that I've talked about as well. We're starting to get near this kind of double top area, possibly, or a breakout of 122. So we still got a little more. I remember when I had the 120 calls in NVIDIA, and then we had this fall. That's where we got hit. We're just revisiting that now. So we'll keep an eye on NVIDIA as we go. If we get above 122, then we'll play some longs as well. But all we've been doing now is just kind of watching this slowly come up higher. And you could see that trend line break. Where now we got to break some key MAs. And the key MA right there is the 50. That's at 120.33. So I don't think, let me see if I can move it here. 120.33. How's that? And if we break above that, then we have the gap fill at 122. Maybe we could scalp it or play the 125s and see if we can get the momentum. August 28th is when NVIDIA has their earnings. Gustavo says, NVIDIA play was fire. Much appreciated, Carlos. You're very welcome. Thanks for being here and watching the videos. Let's see if there's anything else that stood out to me. Let's take a look at gold together. All right. I already see something I don't like on gold. Yep. Rising flag. Just get ready for some possible weird reversal on gold. We did hit all-time highs, but you can see this flag moving higher. If we break below 23.91, we're probably going to get to 22.10. So gold is going to be on the watch list this week. Now, again, that's the 200-day. So again, we're pretty far out, but just keep an eye on gold. Maybe that we don't get that rate cut or the expectations aren't met. Let's see what happens to gold. But 23.91, you could see this flag can possibly break down a little bit. I don't think we'll get to the 200-day. I mean, that would be great. But keep an eye on gold. Maybe we get a little bit of weakness. Let's see the RSI. RSI is not too bad at 54.80, so rather neutral. But just keep an eye on that one. Maybe we start getting a little bit of a pullback on the shiny metal. Let's remove that. Amazon huge sweep orders for 180 yesterday, just before close. I think the big doings or big dogs watch your live, Carlos. I don't know if they watch this or at all. I'm just happy that we have people who watch, which is kind of cool. I actually posted a video on the live market blog. I believe it was yesterday, and I'm gonna go and show you guys just for fun. I was looking at the YouTube channel. This is from 9 years ago, uh, September 22, 2015, and I was talking forex, and this is me using my Microsoft Surface, which I absolutely hated that laptop. I actually grew a brain at that time and bought a MacBook, MacBook Air. But you can see the link here if you're interested in seeing. And I was watching the video and I see just the difference in growth. And the reason that I posted that was to show the members that maybe are just starting this journey or starting to day trade and making mistakes. Listen, that is 100% guaranteed going to happen. Like the sun rising, you making mistakes. I mean, you're a human being. You're going to make mistakes. It's normal. This is a very difficult endeavor. People who go to law school study for 4, 5, 6 years and then don't go to court right away. And doctors have to go to residency, go to the, work for, I guess, so many amount of time in an emergency room or what have you. Again, it's a process. This is 9 years ago. And I still get it wrong 9 years later sometimes. It's natural, but it's all about screen time. It's all about what you put into it. I hope that that video from 9 years ago kind of shows you the difference, kind of shows the contrast of what I used to be, making mistakes, not sure, nervous, but still trying, still pushing and learning. And over time, all that time that you put, the screen time, the reading, if you do not like reading, do not day trade. It's not for you. You need to be reading every day. News, you need to be reading the information, you need to be reading your charts, you need to be reading the earnings reports. That's all important. All of that is edge on your side. That's your weapons, your arsenal, so you can be a better trader. Yes, anybody can read a technical chart, but why things happen is what's important. Anyone can read, that's fine, but you got to analyze it. And that's what makes a great trader, is somebody who can disseminate information quickly and analyze it quickly and make the next move without hesitation. That's basically what makes a great trader. So I hope you liked that video. I was laughing the whole time I was watching it. These are amazing. I appreciate you greatly. Oh, you're welcome. What do I think about PANW, Palo Alto Networks? Palo Alto Networks has a gap to fill at 359. So if you break above 347, 346, 346.14, take a look at the volume for the 360 calls. And CRM, this is Salesforce. Salesforce, I have an alert above 266.91. And if that breaks, you have a gap to fill at 292.81. Are we starting to notice a pattern, guys? Big flush, a lot of gaps. Now we're slowly taking the escalator up. Elevators fast, down. We know that. That's quick. 65 VIX, everyone's panicking. Is the world over? And yet the market just keeps being resilient. And that's natural. That's natural in a bull market. You don't get these kind of big thrust days consistency, 3 days in a row green. Good news is still good news. That don't happen in bear markets. In bear markets, you're looking for any reason to sell. In bull markets, you're looking for any reason to buy. Just think of it that way. On that topics, what books would you recommend to the Carlos just starting to trade? There's so many. That's a really good podcast question. First, I have books literally right above my monitor. There's some really great ones. I would say the best one to start with is, let me go and take a look at the author name. A Random Walk Down Wall Street by Burton Malkiel. I'm going to get that wrong. So that'd be a really good podcast episode. Just read off the books that I like. I've done it on Instagram where I posted pictures of the books that I read. I got some poker books in here too. So Poker Math really helps out with options trading. It's very, very similar. There's a reason why some of the better poker players on the world, was it WPT? Some of them are actual day traders. So, if you ever got some time and you're just kind of hanging out and you want to see risk management on the fly, watch the World Poker Tournaments, because that's pretty much how you will feel every single day when you're day trading. Excellent advice. Thank you, Carlos. You're welcome. So I think I answered the CRM question and the PNW question. Let's see. Any other books that stand out? There's one by The Economist, The Guide to Investment Strategy. Let's see. Any other books? Oh yeah, this is one of my favorites. A History of the United States and Its Five Crashes. All the major crashes in the stock market, all kind of explained. The writer of the book is Scott Nations. And there's one other book that I really love. It's from Morgan Housel. It's called The Psychology of Money. I would highly recommend that book. And there's, um, I guess, out of the books that I read, a lot of them are self development. Tony Robbins, Jim Rohn, those guys. And again, it all starts in the mind. You got to see it in your mind before you can achieve it. Always. And it's so, so true. So, don't get caught in the minutia of, oh, just read technical books all day and I'll learn everything. You got to master yourself before you master anything else. I'm just turning on thoughts on Meta. Excuse me. Industrials are out. Big miss. I don't know what industrials you're speaking of. Meta, nice bounce. Looks like we're setting up for more. And 542.81 is coming. Meta's a great company. We know that. At least they got out of the metaverse, I guess, spending, but yet they're still called Meta. The old me used to call it Facebook. So other than that, 542.81 is the recent highs. That's going to go more than likely the 550 calls today are going to get the most volume. Thoughts on SLV? This is silver. Not doing as well as gold. Above 30 would be exactly what I'm looking for. But we do have a very, very key. See this wedge here, this triangle. There you go. See that wedge? And you had that breakout. More than likely, we'll probably get a little bit of a retest if we start pulling back, especially when I talked about gold getting a pullback. So silver below the 20. If we get below 23.44, 22 is next. And then that's going to be where the key level of support is. So I would say I'm looking towards being bearish on silver and bearish on gold. I know, horrific. ETH predictions. Okay, so we got the ETF, if you guys remember that. The ETF is done with, but it did hit some support here. You can see at 21.47. Let's see, alert. We're going to cry below, just in case. Do have a gap to fill on the future side. 27.85 to 2800. What do I think in terms of the end of the year? I think Bitcoin will perform better than Ethereum, just for the fact that the ETF for Bitcoin had a lot more exposure, a lot more attention than the Ethereum ETF. And again, perception is really everything. So where do we end by the end of the year? That depends on how many rate cuts we get. If we have two, which is 50 basis points September and November, then we'd probably be moderate, probably around 2,900, 2,800 by end of the year. Not too much. If we really start getting the dollar to fall, maybe around the 100 handle, 3,500 is coming. Is 4,000 going to come on Ethereum? I'll say this. I think Bitcoin has a better chance at all-time highs by the end of the year than Ethereum. Now, again, doesn't mean Ethereum is bad. I just think Bitcoin is probably the one that's going to get the most attention. Again, there's more companies that deal with Bitcoin directly. Was it MicroStrategies and all these other names? There ain't no company out there that's focused on Ethereum that I see. And let's see, thoughts on NANC? Never heard that. Bouncing though. You got the 50-day moving average above 36. So wait for 36 and you can target possibly the 38 calls. I don't know exactly if they even have earnings or anything. KRUZ. I don't know if these are cryptos or these are actual stocks, but I don't know any of these names. So just doing the charts above $30.30, you can target the highs. Both of them look great. And CrowdStrike, I mean, the name that's been absolutely brutalized, finally filled this gap at 214. $200 was the last call for alcohol, apparently. Now we're getting a bounce and you're above the 20. Could it be interesting here on Crowd for a possible buy? Maybe 290.28 would confirm, gets you back on track if you want to wait. That's about $30 more. Just really depends. I would say CrowdStrike's earnings are going to be very, very important and their guidance. I already think they reported already this cycle, but we'll see the future details or future commentary from the CEO and the company. All right, one more for the road. Tesla. Tesla is trading at 204.20. I have an alert above 220. Yeah, we need 220 to break to get to 236 and possibly this upward gap at 245. So we still need a little more. It's only trading right now at 205. So rather neutral on Tesla. I would like a little more is all. All right. All right, guys. I will catch you on the podcast on Spotify after the bell. We'll go ahead and recap it all and talk about what's next. Thanks for joining again. Have a great rest of your morning. See you then. Cheers all.